Hello, welcome to J Coloring. It's my finished pages video. I don't have a ton of things to show y'all, but I'm excited what I ended up getting finished for the last couple of months. There's probably going to be a lot of mermaids because of that, because May. But I did most of the work in June. I just only finished like one or two things in May. So anyway, I'll just kind of get right into it. I did one in pop manga mermaids, and I love this book, and I think this might be my first finished page in this book. So that's awesome. I ended up doing this page, and I really love how it turned out. My favorite thing about it is her hair. I think her hair turned out really cool, and I just love the green with the blue. And I just kind of kept with the green with the mermaid tail, and I wasn't sure what to color her bow, so I just went with green also, and I think it turned out. And I really struggled with the kind of like tentacle crown thing around her head, but I think it turned out pretty good. And I just used, I kept the background pretty simple, and I used a Posca pink, in like the color pink, and then just kind of played around with the bubbles. I didn't really have too much of a plan with those, but I think it turned out good. And I loved how the orange kind of turned out at the end of the fin here. Anyway, all in all, it turned out better than I expected. I really like it a lot. But yeah, there's that one. And I did a PDF. It's a Eva Nunan PDF, and I think it's her like Robin Hood Coloring Heaven. I think. Yeah, I think it's the Coloring Heaven, like printable PDF. I've been working on this one for a good little while. I kind of, had trouble figuring out what to do with all the leaves at the bottom here, but I think it turned out okay. I ended up not spending a whole lot of time on them, but just kind of thought, time to call it done. So, but I really liked how the trees and the leaves kind of make like a frame. I think it looks really cool. And I'd used a like black Posca for the background, and I went over it a couple times so it wouldn't look streaky, kind of like streaky at all, because it was looking a little bit streaky. But I really love how the gold kind of looks up against the black background too, of those leaves up at the top. But yeah, I'm happy I finally got this one finished as well. I really love her artwork, so it was a lot of fun working on it. And also another Eva Nunan page is this kind of, it's underwater. I don't know if she's really a mermaid or not, but I thought it was kind of, similar enough. And I really loved how, I don't know if it's her, I guess it's her dress probably, but I just loved how it looked, and I was excited to color that. And I did more blue hair, so, but it kind of looked like water kind of flowing upwards, so I just kind of went with it. I had a lot of fun doing this one because I really didn't have any plans, but I think it turned out so awesome. I spent a little bit more time on these bubbles in this page, and I think they look pretty cool. I've never colored so many bubbles before. These last few pages had a lot of them. And this printed with like really dark like ink, so that was already there for the line art. And I think this was one of her Patreon pages, but I wasn't really sure what to do with this part of the page. I just ended up coloring it green, but I did use, I think I played around with some like the distressed like oxide or crayons, and kind of played around with those for the water, but I ended up going over them quite a bit with going over that part with quite a bit of pencil. But I think it turned out pretty cool. There's a lot of different colors going on, but I like it. And I'm glad, you know, to have this one completed. It was a lot of fun. Alright, it's probably my favorite finished page of the month. But I don't know, it is hard to pick sometimes, but I was really excited working on this one. It's the Dark Fairy Tales by Kirby Rosanes, and I did the very first page, and it's the Rapunzel page. But I love how it turned out. I think it was a little bit challenging for me to come up with colors for the sky, but I ended up coming up with kind of a yellowy and orange, like hazy looking sky, I guess, or at least I attempted to do that. But I like how it turned out though, and there was a lot of trees to color as well, and I was unsure what to do with like the bottom here, and I ended up going in with like a green alcohol marker that's kind of a light green color, and it's probably hard to tell, but I tried to kind of make the effect of like distant trees in like the background. But I did use alcohol markers on this because I didn't mind doing that to that page. I don't know, I could probably go over that again. It's not too bad. I don't know. I just wanted to use some alcohol markers, so. But yeah, I think my favorite part of the page, though, was definitely the tower. I spent probably the most time on the tower. I really enjoyed coming up with, like, different, like, pink and beige colors and, like, tan and, like, ochre colors for, like, all the different variations of the stone, and I really enjoyed it. And I also liked the doing the roof. It's really fun to do like the architecture in Kirby Rosanes books because of all the like black sketchy lines. I really enjoy it. And her hair was a lot of fun to do also, but super excited that I actually completed a page in like a new book I had gotten, because sometimes they can sit on the shelf for a while. But yeah, so much fun working on this one. In Portrait of the Mermaid, I ended up doing a color along, but it's still in editing stages, but I'm getting close to finishing the color along, so I'm excited to, you know, have that ready for y'all. But this was what it ended up looking like. I really like it. I had a lot of fun coloring the hair. It's probably one of my favorite parts of this page. I haven't done purple hair too much, so I had to kind of come up with a combo, but I also really love the, I tried to do like a gradient with the kind of detail up here, kind of with the sun, and I used a little bit of like Posca to kind of make that look kind of like stars. I don't know if it worked out, but it was a very fun page, and I put a little bit of stickles on the tail just because why not. But yeah, definitely love this one also, and I'm trying really hard to finish the color along on this one. In this Korean coloring book, I think it's Girls with Flowers. I know I'm terrible about translating the titles, but I finished this page, and I did try to go for a very similar color scheme and just in general almost exactly as close as I could get to the original artwork. I really enjoy doing that because it's kind of hard to unsee the original, and so I just feel like I learn a lot kind of, you know, playing around. Like something I've never done before was try to put like shadows like for the bag and stuff, and kind of like up on the shoulders, kind of put a little bit more of a shadow in there with like alcohol markers, and I don't know, just like a nice little extra detail. But I really love how bright and vibrant the yellow turned out. It's just a really happy page, I did kind of go in with a alcohol marker on some of this. Actually, a lot of it I did do an alcohol marker. I took a picture of this before I did do that. I don't know, I've been a little bit wanting to play with alcohol markers lately, so, but I don't think it messed it up too bad. So, but I did take a picture so I could reference back to it. And I really enjoyed coloring the all the little birds. I thought they were super cute, and I liked coming up with, you know, working on those. But yeah, really fun page. I'm so happy that I finished this one. And I did mess up a little bit. I don't know what I was thinking, but I went in with some kind of water-based marker I had got, and then I realized that it was really green and not blue. It was my bad because I didn't test out the color before I went in there. So, but it's not too bad. And I just really kind of went around and scribbles with the alcohol marker on the sky just to kind of make it look a little bit, I guess, more sky-like. And that's all I did for that top portion. So I think it turned out pretty good. And in Coloring Heaven Mermaid Special, this is the one by Anastasia Koldareva. I finally finished a whip. I think it might be at least 2 years old. So super happy to check this one off my whip list, my work in progress list I have. And I really love it. I don't know. I know I said the Kirby Rosanna's was my favorite, but I don't know. I really like this one too. It's kind of hard to pick sometimes, but what kind of kept me from finishing this one was I wasn't sure what to do with like this rock, or I don't know, whatever it is, but I decided to go with blue tones and then just the pop of color with like the starfish and the coral, and I think it turned out really good. I like it. I really liked her hair and her blue eyes. One of the challenges was, because it had been so long since I've done her face, I was worried I couldn't make her rest of her body match her skin on her face, but I think it worked out pretty good because I could kind of remember some of the pencils I used, but I didn't write it down, so but I think it turned out good in the end still. And I also, you know, had fun coming up with the, I guess it's like pearls in her hair, so that was something fun to color for sure. But yeah, it might be my first page by this artist that I finished. And yeah, I think that's the last finished page that I have to share with y'all. It wasn't a lot, but I was really happy with what I ended up getting done, and I debated whether or not to make this video since I didn't have a whole lot to show y'all, but I'm glad I did because, you know, I just didn't want to have to wait a whole nother month before I share it with y'all. But if you're interested, I will show you some of the works in progress that I have going. This is Mythographic Dragon Spell. I'm working on a video for this page, so I'm getting a little bit closer, but it's still kind of slow going, but I'm really happy. I did the eyes on the cat. I think it turned out really cool. I tried to do kind of like galaxy eyes, and it was kind of a tedious process because first I really didn't know what I was doing, so I was trying to figure it out as I went, but I still think, you know, it turned out pretty good, and I'm excited to keep working on this page, but hopefully I'll get that done by the end of July. And then I just started some random pages like in Zan Von Zed, Ladies of Leisure 3. I started this page, and I wasn't sure it was going really well. Sometimes I struggle with like one of the eyes, like the shape of it, like when it's on the side of her face. And I also felt like I kind of ruined it because I tried to do eyelashes, which isn't something I typically do, and I probably need to kind of practice it a little bit more. But anyway, still working on that one. So, and I started in this Fairy and Fantasy 3. I haven't done any more work on it, but I'm excited to keep going with this one for next month as well, because it's a super sweet page. It's that Sleeping Beauty page. And very long-standing whip and grayscale coloring edition in Gothic by Selena Finnick. Now, I have been having some trouble with the background on this page, and so I ended up taking my like X-Acto knife and cutting out the original art or line art in the back. I bet you I can find the second print of it. So that's how it came originally, and it is beautiful, but I messed up a little bit trying to kind of follow the grayscale. I don't know, and I just kind of struggled with it, but I don't remember who it was that I seen had taken like scrapbook paper or some pretty paper and just kind of pasted that on the back of the page, which I should have done after I was done coloring it, because I'm coming up with like some lines here, but it's just a kind of a rock wall, so it's okay to have some more like lines on that. But so I just glued that to the back, and so kind of rescued it a little bit because I wasn't wanting to finish it because of the background was going so wrong. So I'm hoping to get this one done as well, and like I said, I should have waited till I was done with the page, because it's kind of like you can see the edges of that small paper. But yeah, you live and learn, and I was excited to try it out, so I'm kind of impatient. But yeah, I can't wait to finish this one. So, but that's everything I have to show y'all. I hope to get some coloring done for July. I might do a coloring plans for July, because those always kind of get me like excited to color. So I might end up doing that as well. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Until the next video, bye.